when we keep asking about Benavidez, do you feel it all like, no mames way? Like, yeah.
No.
Or you like it? You like it?
He's a good fighter. But like I say to him, everybody say the same thing before I fought with Golovkin. Oh, he's a monster. He's gonna knock out Canelo. He's this and that. At the end of the day, it's not the same. Be in the ring with other fighters like be in the ring with me. It's different.
It sounds like you're starting to like the challenge, though. Like it's starting to get the fire there.
I like challenge, but I have a goal this year in my career, right? So it's a really hard fight for me, fight. But look, I like that kind of challenge. And I've been in the ring a lot of years with a lot of hard fights. I mean, you can say, oh, Benavidez is a good fight. It's a good fighter, but I mean, man, I've been in the ring in hard fights, every single good fighter there, so...
Are you coming back to 68, or are you going to stay at 75 after people
68.
Coming back to 68?
Entiendo que los estilos hacen peleas, pero no te reivindica mucho cómo pierde el zurdo cómo...
Ahí sabíamos, el zurdo Ramírez, nosotros lo respetábamos mucho, de hecho lo tuvimos en Canelo Promotion en el inicio de su carrera, y lo ayudó mucho también para entrar a top rank al inicio, y sabemos, al final de cuentas, el zurdo Ramírez habló mucho y hizo poco, esa es la verdad. La realidad nosotros la sabíamos, es un peleador muy lento para un b-ball, para un peleador como eso.
¿Vas a invitar a la taquería a tu hermano?
Aparte no tiene corazón.
Sí, creo que es
Sí, claro.
Is it nice to be fighting?
Here first. 3, 2, 1. And right here.
Gotta give me that shot, right? That's next place.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Thank you guys.
Is it nice to be fighting someone your own size again?
I don't care. I don't really care.
True champion.
And those are the words of Canelo Alvarez. You gotta love those titles. Of Canelo responding to Mike Tyson's Mexican month. Canelo, to be fair, I do remember when people were talking about Gennady Golovkin, and Gennady Golovkin was that monster. He was the monster at 160 once upon a time, okay? And when Canelo did fight him, he didn't look like that monster. He looked like a good fighter, but he didn't look like that monster, right? However, right, I gotta keep it a buck. I gotta keep it a buck, right? I gotta keep it a buck. When Canelo fought Golovkin, it was in 2017. It was late 17. I saw the fight in New Orleans, okay? And that was the fight that was like one of the highest anticipated fights of the year, if not the biggest, because that was the same year Floyd fought McGregor, so that overshadowed it. But other than that, that was a big fight. Now, he didn't fight Golovkin, I think, when he probably could have, because he was claiming not to be a middleweight or whatever. So I don't think he can use that same example, simply because when he fought Golovkin, he fought him a year afterwards. You know what I mean? I don't think that's fair. I think if he would have fought Golovkin in 2016, you would have had a different fight. And I don't think Canelo was really ready for him, honestly, because, Oscar De La Hoya didn't want it. Canelo was at 155, so you were too small. You were claiming you wasn't a middleweight, but then you beat Miguel Cotto, and Miguel Cotto was claiming he was a middleweight because he beat Sergio Martinez, if you guys can remember. So that... those line of fighters, none of them wanted a piece of Golovkin. Not Cotto, Martinez might have wanted to, but he got beat and upset by Cotto, right? So I think at the end of the day, Golovkin was feared for a while. Now, is that David Benavidez? I don't think it was. I think that's two different situations because, see, Golovkin was taking guys out and he was just mowing over guys. They were just giving him guys like meats for the slaughter. You know what I mean? Like people like even David Lemieux. I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be a good fight here. And even that fight was just kind of like, yo, what is this? What's going on with that? Right? Like David Lemieux was picked apart by a jab that looked like Icorte back in his heyday, and a solid right hand and a lot of lefts, and it was crazy. He just got submitted. So when Canelo says, well, hey, you know, the Mexican monster or whatever, let me G check you and let's talk about it. I think at the very end of the day, at the very, very end of the day, I don't think that that David carries that same stigma. I don't. You know, I think it's definitely the opposite because now Canelo's in his 30s and this guy is like 26 years old, you know, and speaking of, hey, Canelo versus David Benavidez, is Canelo really ducking him? It's hard to say. Why? Why is it hard to say? Because Canelo is fighting a guy that already beat him decisively. You know what I mean? Decisively. So he's trying to fight that guy again, which is Bivol. And I always say this, is the guy that they're fighting, can that guy that they're fighting or taking on, will that guy wage a good or a worthy battle with the guy that they say they're ducking? That's the question you ask yourself. And the answer is absolutely. Dimitri Bivol, bro, fighting David Benavidez, they've sparred before, but I don't think David wins that fight. And if he does, he has to be bigger and stronger at light heavyweight, and I don't really see him being bigger and stronger. You know what I see him? I see him being in the correct weight class. I see David Benavidez doing real good at light heavyweight, but you have to also take account in those cats at light heavyweight punch harder than those guys at 168. This isn't Caleb Plant, okay? These guys are much bigger and they pack a more firepower, all right? So looking at those guys, you know, and looking at Canelo and his next opponent, you can't say Canelo's ducking him, especially when he was defeated by Dimitri Bivol. Now, the shit that he said sounded suspect. You can't overlook that. Like, oh, I don't want to fight another Mexican. Okay, that's bullshit. And Angulo and Pedro Angulo and, you know, all these other fighters that you fought. What? Then you don't want to fight him? That's 100% grass, right? But other than that, though, you know, him fighting Bivol, yeah, that's going to be a chore all by itself. So, you know, and then that's a fight he's not guaranteed to win. Canelo's not guaranteed to beat Bivol. Bivol might beat him again because he knew how to beat him the first time. You got to add pressure, throw punches, you know, win exchanges, and be more active. That's how you beat Canelo Alvarez, and hope that the judges are not corruptive. All right? But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Canelo stating that everybody states they're a monster until they get in there with me. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!